Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today we are still diving into the Adeptus Sororitas brand new Codex for 9th edition that just got released. We are also going over a ton of different models that we have for the studio now for my Sisters of Battle. I am stupid excited for all of them. In fact, I already built some of them. And I gotta say, these in person look a lot better than I thought they were going to. I still wish the arms were a bit thicker, but that's just me. I like things thick. So in the first part of this, we went over the orders themselves and we determined which ones were the best. And if you haven't seen that, please go back and check out that first video. And if you are continuing watching these videos and you want to continue to support the channel, please be sure to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/NornQueenAlexis. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. It also has exclusive content on there, which I will be adding more next week. There's an entire series on there that is exclusive to Patreon. So please be sure to check that out. And one more announcement before we continue. This video is sponsored by Games Workshop. They did send us really cool stuff, including all of this for the channel itself. Games Workshop has been a longtime supporter of the channel itself, and I'm super excited that I can finally tell you guys this because of an advertisement law that got changed. Anyway, let's dive into this. Today we are looking at Stratagems. Gems? 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 Well, gems are truly outrageous. If somebody gets that joke, they're as old as me, and I feel bad for you. First stratagem, 2 CP. This can be used with all of these can be used with any order so far until we get into the second page where they start becoming order specific. God, I love this art. This is still my favorite art of all Sisters. It's just so good. I have a lot of favorite arts, by the way. Cleansed by fire. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when an Adeptus Ministorum unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. Interesting choice of Ministorum because that also means that it's the it can be the mortifiers or the penitent engines that can use the stratagem. A unit from your army is chosen to shoot with until the end of the phase. When a model in that unit shoots with a flame weapon, do not roll to determine the number of attacks made with those weapons. Instead, the maximum number of attacks is made with those weapons. 6s are made for heavy D6. So if you have a Retributor squad or a Penitent Engine squad filled with flamethrowers, you could just blaze your opponent off the battlefield. Especially if you have like 4 mortifiers with 2 heavy flamethrowers apiece. That's 8 heavy flamethrowers. That's 8 times 6, which is a big number. So that many shots. It's far too late for me to actually do math. It is 2:30 in the morning when I am recording this, so please forgive me. Overall, pretty solid, but you have to build around flamethrowers. As we know right now, flamethrowers aren't the best, and heavy flamethrowers are just kind of mediocre right now. So we really have to be careful where we throw our heavy weapons. Personally, I would rather have Meltaguns, but that's just me. Meltaguns, Storm Bolters, and heavy bolters. Or multi-meltas, you know. So the next one is 2 CP. Use this stratagem in the fight phase. Select 1 Seraphim squad from your army until the end of the phase. Each time an attack is made with each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the attacker's wound roll. So the swords, which bring them up to strength 4 because of the +1 to attacks because of them being strength 3 +1 for power sword. And if you have an Imagifier nearby, I went over this in the last video, but if you have an Imagifier, which I really hope I can turn to, no, that would be really convenient, wouldn't it? If I could just turn right to the Imagifier. If I could turn right to the Imagifier. I can't even find the damn thing. Apparently, I really can't find her. There she is. You can get +1 strength as well, so you can get your swords for your Seraphim all the way up to strength 5. So wounding on 3s, lowering it down to wounding on 2s against most things, including Space Marines, is really, really, really good. And paying 2 CP to force your opponent to use transhuman physiology on one thing instead of the actual target that turn is still pretty decent. Okay, next one is 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a Celestian unit from your army is selected to shoot. As we know, no one uses Celestians, they're kinda garbage. Or in the fight phase when a Celestian, now there we go, unit in your army is selected to fight with. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. Now, if you are using the regular shooting armies, like Murdered Lady, Valorous Heart, or something of that note, getting the +1 to hit is really cool. I think it's amazing. But overall, I don't think it's actually necessary too much. I think the Sacristans hitting on 2s is really cool though. I think they're, where are they? Let's see, we got the Celestian Sacristans. Yeah, they're hitting on 3s, so lowering that to hitting on 2s, especially if you get all of those attacks, which their attacks are 2 and 3 for the Sister Superior. So with Bloody Rose, you're bringing those attacks up to 3 attacks, and then with the with a Preacher, with a Himoth, you're getting a +1 attack. So you can get all the way up to 4 attacks each with them. Hitting on 2s is really good. If you take regular Celestians, you're going to have to use shooting attacks, which is okay, but I feel like Dominions just do it a little bit better. So there's that. Okay, so really good stratagem for just hitting on +1s. It's really good. I like it, but it also means you have to take Celestians, and the only Celestians I think are worth taking are the Sacristans because they look cooler and they have a 2+ save, so they're just better in every way. And if you go Bloody Rose, they're just way better. Okay, so moving on from there, we have Exterminatus Trigger Word. This is with Arcoflagellants. It's still okay. I'm not a big fan of Arcoflagellants, and I never take them. So this is the one that just gives them additional attacks and everything. Honestly, I don't see the point of Arcoflagellants, especially when you can take any other melee unit and it's just better than them. Repentia, just blow these out of the water. Suffer not the witch to live. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when an Adeptus Ministorum unit from your army is selected to shoot, or in the fight phase when an Adeptus Ministorum unit in your army is selected to fight with. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in that unit would make an attack against a Psyker, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. Now this is really cool if you have a giant blob shooting at like a Psyker squad or a single Psyker, or you just want to burn a Psyker down to the ground and make sure that they are dead, like a Space Marine Psyker or a powerful Psyker like a Tyranid. You could just blow it out of the water with this. Like 1 CP, kill a Hive Tyrant, pretty decent. I think this one's very good, very situational, but still very good. You always run into Psykers, except in a lot of my games, which is weird. Okay, moving on. Divine Intervention. Use this stratagem in when an Adeptus Sororitas character model, excluding a named character from your army, is destroyed. Instead of using any rules that trigger when the model is destroyed, like Sacrifice, or Chapel of Sacrifice Relic on page 75, discard 1 to 3 miracle dice. At the end of the phase, set that model back with, sorry, I'm getting a wicked glare. At the end of the phase, set up that model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of any enemy model. That model is returned to play with a number of wounds equal to the number of miracle dice you discarded. You cannot use this stratagem if you do not have any miracle dice remaining. Use this stratagem. This stratagem can only be used once per battle. So once per game, you just pop a character back. Still really good. 2 CP to bring back a character is amazing. Celestine can do it to herself. So using this on a Canoness or in a Magifier, really useful. The next one is 1 CP. Use this stratagem at the start of your of any of your phases Other than your command phase, select one Adeptus Ministorum priest model from your army that has not intuned a hymn this turn. God, I hate the wording of that. This model can intune a hymn that it knows that has not already been intuned by a friendly model this turn. That hymn is automatically inspiring. Holy crap, do I hate the wording there, just to say activate an ability on a list for the priest. It's so dumb, but that's what it is. 1 CP to do that is really useful, so I like it. Martyr's Immolation. Use a stratagem in any phase when an immolator model from your army that is equipped with immolation flamers is destroyed. Oh, now you have to... Oh, that sucks. It used to just be an immolator, gets to pop. Now it's an immolator with flamethrowers, which is the way you don't run it because it's garbage. You run the immolator with double multi-meltas. You run the immolator with 3 heavy bolters. It's just better. Use a stratagem at the end of... Oh, we're over here now. Use a stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select one Hospitaller unit from your army and then select one friendly Adeptus Ministorum core infantry unit. So she cannot, under any circumstance, resurrect these girls. These are vehicles. These are infantry. See the trade-off? These are super expensive, but walk around with strength 9 Thunderhammers and multi-meltas. These can kill almost anything in close combat with a 2-up save, while having a 2-up save. Unit that has not... that is not at its starting strength and within 3 inches of the Hospitaller. Up to D3 of the selected friendly unit destroyed models are returned to that unit, to its unit, at their full wounds remaining. So that's kind of ridiculous, but I can't think of a way to break it. Which that is my first thought, is to try to break it, because most sister models, they have just one, because I think all of these are vehicles. Yeah, they're vehicles. They're also outcasts, so you have to be careful with these. They don't benefit from orders anymore. They don't benefit from any of their chapter abilities, order abilities. I was right. But yeah, all of these just have 1 wound. So I don't know what you would return that would come back with multiple wounds. Huh. Arcoflagellants have 2 wounds. Well, I'll be damned. They're actually pretty useful. I didn't know Arcoflagellants had 2 wounds. That's really, really, really good. What about Repentia? No? Where are the Repentia? There you are. 1 wound. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else they can really use that on that can crazily break it. Okay. But still pretty cool to just return 3 models to that unit. Or is it 3? Up to D3. Yeah, up to 3. So, on a chance. That's really good. 1 CP to bring a 50-point model that can potentially just keep reviving things every turn. Really useful. Martyred. Use the stratagem when you gain a miracle dice. Due to sacrifice, which is when you lose a character, you gain 1 additional miracle dice. If that model that was destroyed was Adeptus Warlord from your army, you gain D3 plus 1 additional miracle dice. That's actually really cool. In case your Warlord dies, just pop that and just be like, haha. Okay, and then just use them with Ebon Chalice would be even better, because that would be insane. Okay, moving on. Moment of Grace. Use a stratagem after making a hit or wound roll for an attack made by an Adeptus Sororitas model from your army. Now notice how it doesn't say core or infantry. From your army, or after making a saving throw for an Adeptus Sororitas model from your army, discard 1 to 2 miracle dice in your miracle dice pool. Add 1 to the result of the die roll for the miracle dice you discard. You cannot use this stratagem if you have any miracle dice remaining. Okay, so if you don't have any miracle dice remaining. So what's cool about this is you discard 1 to 2 and just add that to the result of the dice roll, which is pretty decent. I really like it. 1 CP to get rid of some of those 1s that you rolled. Ridiculously good. Suffering and Sacrifice. Use a stratagem in the fight phase. Select one Adeptus Sororitas Warlord Saint Pianeta. I don't know how to say that name. Or Living Saint. Ooh, Living Saint unit. That's actually kind of cool. That gives me hope that we might get a generic Living Saint in the future. From your army, excluding a vehicle. Oh. From your army, the phase to know. Wait. Until the end of that phase, that unit is known as the Suffering unit. Until the end of that phase, each time an enemy unit is selected to fight, if a model in that enemy unit is within engagement range of your Suffering unit, when your opponent is selecting the target for attack, those attacks can only target your Suffering unit. Okay, so you can force your opponent's entire close combat blob to fight one wounded character, which is pretty decent, actually. Open the Reliquary. We already know what that does. Sacred Burden. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Adeptus Sororitas model, excluding a character model, in your army that has the superior word. Oh, is this one where they gain a relic? This is the one where they gain a relic. So you can give them that really cool Inferno pistol. That's pretty neato mosquito. I do like these, that you get that like extra relic for a Sister Superior or a Sergeant for Space Marines and all of that. Saint in the Making. Use a stratagem before the battle when mustering your army. If your Warlord has the Adeptus Ministorum keyword, select one Adeptus Ministorum character model from your army, excluding a named character, and determine one Warlord trait for it. It must be different. That is really, really, really cool. This model must be your Warlord trait. It can have. That model is only regarded as your Warlord for the purposes of the Warlord trait. Each Warlord trait in your army must be unique. If randomly generated, reroll duplicates, and you cannot use the stratagem to give a model 2 Warlord traits. You can only use this stratagem once, unless you are playing a Strike Force battle, in which case you can use this stratagem twice, or an Onslaught, in which you can use it 3 times. That's actually pretty neato mosquito. I like that. Okay, and I think this is our last 2 pages of stratagems. Yes, it is. Or, oh, these are all these. Oh, these are nice. I can't wait to get to these. Anyway, these. The first one, use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select one Adeptus Sororitas jump pack unit. So Seraphim, actually, jump pack. Does this apply to Celestine? Does Celestine have jump pack as a keyword? These are the questions we must ask. You can use it on Celestine. Ooh, okay. Because she is an Adeptus Sororitas jump pack unit. From your army, remove that unit from the battlefield. In the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, you can set up that unit. Set it up back. It deep strikes 9 inches away. That's actually pretty interesting to do with Celestine. It's not good, but it's kind of cool. But what you use it on is you throw a you deploy scramblers with a unit, and then you throw the other unit in reserve, and then have it deploy scramblers later in the game. Or you throw a unit that, like Seraphim, into your opponent in the back. So, then we have battle rights. Use the stratagem at the start of the battle round. If your Warlord has the Adeptus Sororitas keyword and is on the battlefield, roll a d6, randomly generate a Sacred Rite, see page 93. Roll again if the Sacred Rite is that is currently active for your army. Then you can select one Sacred Rite that is currently active for your army and replace it with a result. So you can re-roll it, which is kind of neat. I like that. Deadly Descent is the Seraphim one. Use a stratagem at the end of a movement phase. Select one Seraphim unit from your army that was set up as reinforcements on the battlefield. It can shoot as though it was the shooting phase, but it doesn't add the range to their weapons. Oh, that's garbage. Your Inferno pistols can't shoot anymore. Defenders of Fate. Use a stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select end of movement phase, select one Battle Sister Squad unit from your army that is within range of an objective marker on the battlefield until the start of your next movement phase, instead of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons. Models that are shooting rapid fire weapons make... Okay, so this is just Bolter Discipline for Sisters for 2 command points. Each time an attack is made against a unit with an unmodified wound roll of a 1 through 3 for that unit, attacks fail. Oh, okay. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select one Battle Sister unit from your... Each time an attack is made against this unit, an unmodified wound roll of a 1 through 3 of the attack fails. Wait, so... At the end of your movement phase, select one... Wait, how does that work, though? Okay, so it affects them until the start of the next phase? That's kind of weird. I like it, but that's kind of weird. Like, especially if you put it on Sacristans, which are really good. Or Repentia. Oh, wait, no, it's a Battle Sister squad. I'm an idiot. Just Battle Sisters. So if you have a 15-woman squad on an objective, pop this for 2 CP. They get wounded on 4 pluses, which is really, really, really good. Gives them definitely some really cool survivability. Use a stratagem in the fight phase. When a Sister Repentia unit from your army is targeted by a melee attack, until the end of that phase, each time a model in that unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, do not remove the model from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attack. After doing so, any other rules that would affect the model when it is destroyed are triggered. If any, then a model is removed from play. That's actually kind of cool because it just says it can fight. So Repentia get 2 base attacks. So if you have all of the buffs on them, they can get up to 5 attacks each. So you can beat the ever-living piss out of something, even if your model dies. So getting charged is now okay. But I'm really hoping there's another one for Repentia to attack again. Otherwise, that's kind of dangerous. Devastating Refrain. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase when an exorcist model from your army is selected to shoot. Until the end of that phase, God, I can read. That model's exorcist missile launcher or exorcist conflagration rockets can target enemies that are not visible to the bearer. So guess what? It didn't gain. That's right. It still needs a direct line of sight, and it got nerfed and is worse. Yay, Exorcist. I'm so glad I spent, what, $260 getting 3 of them? Yay. Anyway, I'm not salty. You're salty. You're dumb. Stop arguing with me. I'm not mad that it got nerfed. It needed the nerf. I'm just mad that I wasted money. Meh. Okay, I'm mad about it. Anyway. Holy Rage. Use a stratagem in your charge phase. Select one Adeptus Sororitas core unit from your army until the start of your next command phase. That unit gains either the Zealot ability or the Fanatic ability shown below. Zealot. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, if that model has made a charge move, was charged, or performed a heroic intervention this turn, you can re-roll that attack roll, which is really, really, really good. Fanatic. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. You would always choose Zealot. Actually, ooh, that really depends on what the rest of your army composition is. Because if you have a shooting army, you just retreat from combat, let your army shoot the thing, and then charge something different. So that widely depends on what you are actually using. If that unit is within 6 inches of a Minister and Priest, that model, when this stratagem is used, it costs 1 CP, otherwise it costs 2 CP. It's okay. Purity of Faith. Use this stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase. After a psychic test is passed for an enemy psyker, a unit, and after any deny the witch attempts are made, if any. If the enemy psyker unit is within 24 inches of an Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army, roll 1d6 on a 4+ psychic powers denied. This is cool that it clarifies that you do get to use your Deny the Witches first. So if you bring an Inquisitor, you get to do the 2d6 Deny the Witch. Or if you have sisters, you do the d6 plus 3 that you would get from the old Sacred Rites. I don't know if that Sacred Rite is still in here, so please forgive me. But yeah, that's actually pretty decent. I always love 1 CP negate a psychic power. It's always good. Okay, so moving on, we have Faith and Fury. Which is a really good book. Use the stratagem after an Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army has performed an act of faith for an attack's hit roll. You can reuse the same miracle dice for the wound roll. That's ridiculously good. I love using this one. Final Redemption. Use the stratagem in the fight phase when an engine of redemption unit, so your penitent engines, your mortifiers, is targeted by a melee attack until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit is destroyed by a melee attack, roll a d6 on a 4+. After the attacks are made, unit has finished making its attacks, suffers d3 mortal wounds. Ooh, that's pretty good. You can have them all explode and kill somebody. Next one, Judgment of the Faithful. Use the stratagem in your movement phase when an Adeptus Sororitas core unit from your army falls back. That unit is still eligible to shoot with. Really, really, really solid. I actually absolutely love these types of abilities because it makes your opponent think if they can kill the unit outright. And if they can't, you punish the ever-living crap out of them. Righteous Impact. Use the stratagem when you charge with... use this stratagem in your charge phase when a Paragon Warsuit or Engine of Redemption unit from your army finishes a charge move. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of a unit and roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. Wait. Let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit and roll 1d6 for each model in your unit that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. For each dice roll that is equal or exceeds that unit's toughness characteristic, it suffers 1 mortal wound. If you roll 6, it's d3. That's okay, but they're a unit of 3, and the other one is a unit of 4. That's kind of garbage. I'm never going to use that. Blessed Bolts. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase. An Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army is selected to shoot. Until the end of that phase, each time an attack is made with an Artificer-crafted Stormbolter... okay. Wait, what? Until the end of that phase, each time an attack is made with an Artificer-crafted Stormbolter by a model in that unit, an unmodified hit roll of a 6... that target suffers 2 mortal wounds, and the attack subsequently ends. A maximum of 6 mortal wounds can be inflicted per phase via this stratagem. Okay, but I'm guessing that we can still do the Dominion trick? Let's see, you can get 2 Stormbolters in there. Where's the Dominions? No, Dominions. We want Dominions. Dominions. Dominion Squad. Up to 4 Dominions can take from the Sacred Weapons. So we just need to go and check Sacred Weapons really quickly, because this is all very important. Okay, Sacred Weapons, or was it supposed to be special? Was it special weapons? That's Retributors. Oh, did I just pass the page completely? I'm dumb. Don't mind me. There they are. Okay. Special weapon list. Okay, so that means they can take the Storm Bolter, the Melty Gun, and the Ministorm Flamethrower. Which... what the hell does a Ministorm Flamethrower do? Is it just an up-strength flamethrower? I'll have to check that later. But, okay, they can deal some damage with their Storm Bolters. That's really good. That's 6 mortal wounds. That's pretty nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know if I would be running that because of, well, it kind of being garbage. And there's better things that I want to be spending my points on. But overall, if you have the Storm Bolters, you might as well use it if you have the command points. But personally, I don't think Dominions are worth it anymore. Holy Smokescreen is just the Rhino doing popping smoke. Holy Trinity, let's see if they changed this. Now this I'm curious about. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. An Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army is selected to shoot. Select an eligible target within range and visible to at least one model in a unit equipped with a bolt weapon, one model equipped with a flamer weapon, one model equipped with a melta weapon. Until the end of that phase, models in that unit can only make attacks by the target enemy unit. Okay, so it's the exact same. It's still the same thing. So +1 to wound for all those weapons. Use the stratagem in the start of your fight phase. Select one Sacristan or Crusader unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, each time an attack is made against the unit, subtract 1 from the attacker's wound roll. That's really good. I like that it's called Shield Wall. Oh yeah, talking about Holy Trinity really quickly. Sorry, I'm shaking my camera. Cool thing you could do with Holy Trinity, especially in Bloody Rose, take a Combi Flamer on a Sister Superior, take 2 Melta Guns, and then just take a 14 or 13 bolt guns, and it becomes quite insane how much damage that unit can do, especially like after you pop Holy Trinity. Or if you really want and you want to try it, put a Combi Flamer on your Retributor Superior and the 4 Melta Guns and take some additional sisters so you have those bolt guns, and you'll be killing things on 2s even if they're toughness 7. It's really fun. Use a stratagem at the start of your opponent's psychic phase. Select one hallowed model from your army. Until the end of that phase, that model gains the following ability: Tries Blessed Hull Aura. When an enemy psychic unit is within 12 inches of this model, that's each time a model... Oh, if you fail the psychic test, it counts as perils. Okay, so big things that I've noticed right off the bat. The Repentia bomb one is gone. Repentia and Archoflagellants can't swing twice anymore. So that is going to be something massive. Unless I missed it, but I don't think that I missed it. The other big thing is... Alright, let's just see. No, I didn't miss it. So that is just gone. The other big thing is the Seraphim one. They can no longer just pop down and shoot their Inferno pistols at 12-inch range. I'm hoping that gets FAQ'd, but right now they just can't, so it's just pistols and maybe a plasma pistol. So kind of worthless, and I really don't see Seraphim as worth it right now. Seraphim, absolutely, but Seraphim, no, not really. Especially being that their big thing is that they pop in and drop and deploy scramblers. But you can do that with Death Cult Assassins, I believe. If they still have their deep striking ability. No, they don't. Never mind. Awesome. So yeah, you can't even do that with them. So yeah, you're gonna have to deploy scramblers with just a cheap 5-woman unit with just pistols. Just trying to drop into the back and just doing that. Overall, I think they took a pretty big nerf to the Repentia. It was definitely needed, 100% needed. but I'm still gonna complain about it because I'm a whiny little crybaby, and I can acknowledge that. I liked having 90 attacks on my Repentia. It wasn't ridiculously overpowered and definitely needed a nerf. It was, but I'm still gonna say so. So, overall, I'm really liking what they're doing here. They streamlined the sisters quite a bit. In the next episode, we will be going into the blessings of the faithful and talking about all of the warlord traits and hymns as we dive more into this book. So, please stay tuned for the next episode. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.